Hello and thanks for watching this Cloud9 ERP Solutions video and subscribing to our YouTube channel. What if you have a priority customer or a few priority customers and you just want to make sure that they're taken care of so that you don't lose them? So in Acumatica, there's a few ways to handle that. Now, if we just take a look at the process that we need to get through, we have an order for our customer. We need to get it over to a shipment. We need to pick and pack it. And we need to get it invoiced. The invoice the customer can probably be patient about, but they definitely want this step, the pick and the pack and the ship, done as quickly as possible. So if we go back to the customer, we look at the customer profile. We'll just take a look at the customer profile here. Under our shipping tab, we have this option, order priority. And you can use this to determine which customers get higher priority. So we'll put a 1 in there. Keep in mind, all of these shipping settings are also under locations. So as many locations as the customer has, you can define these shipping settings, or in this case, the order priority for those different locations. So we'll save it. Before I continue, only 15% of you are subscribed. Hit that subscribe button now to get notified about new videos and events. Now, when we create a new order, this order is already created, but when we create a new order in the shipping tab of the sales order, the order priority will get inherited. So because this was already created, it's not there, we'll put it in manually and we'll save it. Now, the first step is how do we get this created into a shipment? Well, in Acumatica, in order to get created into a shipment, we need this product to be in stock. Now, of course, there's some rules there. If we go back to our shipping tab, you have this shipping rule where we're okay with back orders. As long as we can send 1 unit of anything on this order, then we're going to create a shipment for it. But you can change that here. And you could also change this at the line item level where, again, different pieces, different line items can actually be shipped out in partial or they need to be shipped full. But we have 2 line items here. One of them is out of stock. You could see that down here below. And the other we have plenty of stock for. So again, the first step is we need to get this from a sales order to a shipment. So how do we do that? Well, if we go to process orders and we click on create shipment, the order priority we just defined for the customer and for that order is not set here. So Acumatica in this screen prioritizes whatever stock we have based on the ship date for the customer. It's going to try and create shipments into it if we have the stock available. But there is a way to make sure that these customers are taken care of first. So before we get to the process order screen, we have another screen called Manage Sales Allocations. And if we go to that screen and we select Allocate Sales Orders and we pick our warehouse, you will see all of the line items out there from every sales order that needs to be created into shipment or essentially doesn't have any stock allocated to it yet. Now, the stock allocation can happen under process orders, but that's an automatic process where you really don't have the ability to prioritize and define which customers or which orders and which items get assigned first or get their allocations first. Now, you'll notice with all these line items we have, you could see the order priority column here. If we put a 1 in this filter at the top, it'll only show order priorities that have a 1 associated to them. So this gives us the ability to lock in these 3 units to that sales order. The order required 3 for this line item. Where is the other line item? Well, if we go back to the sales order, again, we have 3 here, but we don't have the stock available for this other line item. Now, the customer has said it's okay, because that's the defined setting we have for the customer, that we allow back orders. So the customer's okay with getting a partial shipment. They're okay with that. We know that. That's why we have the customer defined that way. So what we want to do is get this line out. So the first thing we do is manage our sales allocations. We'll check this and we'll click process to allocate this quantity 3 to that sales order. Now when we go to our process order screen and we'll refresh, select create shipment again. And if we select our sales order 184 and process it, we'll get this converted to a shipment and along for the next steps, which are pick, pack, and ship. Now you'll also notice there's a customer filter here. We could select Elevation Computers here and keep that so that we only create shipments for that customer and we can get that out of the way. But if we happen to have many different customers, going through a manual process of creating shipments and then just remembering which customers to pick might be a little bit difficult. Now we could create filters here. We can click this button and we want to make sure that the customer is equal to or contains Elevation. I'm going to change that to equal. And then we could save the filter. Share it with others. And now we have that filter here that we can kind of go through. We could say customer, Elevation, and all the other priority customers that are important to us. We could do that. But again, if you're dealing with a lot of customers that are priority, the order priority setting in the customer profile might be the best approach for you. Now, of course, the next step, now that we have a shipment for that single line item, would be to go through our picking process, our packing process, which we could do through create pick lists. If that's the process we're doing, we can create a single pick list or a wave or a batch. And then, of course, we can go through our pick, pack, and ship, and we can follow the next step and get that out the door. But it's now at the warehouse level, and the warehouse can pick it up, and we know that they're going to take care of it because it's already allocated. There's already a shipment for it. But now we have the sales order. If we hit the refresh button, that's in a shipping process. And as soon as we ship it out, it will become a back order. And so behind the scenes, I went and shipped this out. And if I refresh this, you can see now I have a back order status. And you can look over here. When you look at the line items, you can see the open quantity. This line item is taken care of. It's shipped, but we still have 5 to take care of. Now we want to get this into the customer's hands as quickly as possible. Now, if we scroll over to the right, what we can do here is mark this for a PO, and we can drop ship this directly to the customer, or we can bring it into our warehouse. In this case, we're going to bring it into our warehouse to ship it out because maybe we have our own packaging and we really don't have an arrangement with the vendor to drop ship for us. So we're going to purchase to order. We'll save it. And right from here, we can create our purchase order. Now, there's a purchase order screen that we're going to go to, which will actually handle all dropship purchase orders and any other purchases that need to get taken care of. It'll do it in this screen. The difference is because I've done it from the sales order, Acumatica brings us to here and it automatically filters that one particular sales order. So the only line we're seeing is from that sales order. But if you remove this stuff, you'll see every purchase order line that needs to be created through purchase orders. So I'll check this box. I'll click process. I have my purchase order here. Everything looks good. There's no cost. The cost would have been drawn in for me, but there's 5 of them at maybe $1. It's just a resistor. We'll remove the hold. We'll approve it. It happens to be requiring an approval for $5. Normally you wouldn't have that. We'll email it to the vendor. We can see the activities here. Any vendor question or acknowledgement would come right here, but we'd also get an email copy of it sent right to us. Now, a couple of days later, hopefully very quickly, we will receive it. It's at our loading dock. And we'll release it. I had an error message because my default has create bill on it, but I turned that off. Because we created this purchase order as a purchase to order from the sales order, this stock, once it got received, automatically got allocated to the sales order. So we don't need to use manage sales order allocations. We go back to process orders and we refresh. We select create shipment. You will see our order here. It's got a back order status, but if we check this and click process, now we have a shipment and we can take it the rest of the way. We go back to shipments. We can see our open shipment here, and this will get picked, packed, and shipped, and then ultimately confirmed, like this one that I did behind the scenes was taken care of. So that's how we can handle our priority customers. We can essentially flag them as a customer. We can use the order priority setting over in the customer profile. And we can also handle anything that's out of stock very quickly with our vendor, either through a drop ship or bringing it in and making sure that it's ready to go right away. Keep in mind that this process order screen, while we're doing it manually, you can set it up as a schedule. So we can always ensure that we run this create shipment on a schedule every hour or multiple times a day. We can actually pick a set of customers that are handled first. So when we talk about order priority and we talk about how that's very beneficial, so you don't have to flag a lot of customers. Well, if you create a schedule, maybe at 8 o'clock in the morning, creating all your shipments, any stock you have, instead of going through this ship date as a priority, your scheduler is going to take care of the priority for you, because before you run the rest of the day's create shipments, you're going to have a schedule that's going to take care of a handful of customers that are also critical to you. So you can create this schedule and also accomplish the same thing. It all depends on what the sweet spot is for you and if you're processing orders automatically. So hopefully you found this video useful on taking care of your priority and your most loyal customers. And if you have any questions about this or anything else Acumatica, feel free to reach out to us. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks again, and have a great day.